I started researching it and I found this audio called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. So I kind of that really had a huge impact on my life because I started off with, the self-development mindset. I needed a paradigm shift.
How did you actually source the deal? What were the processes?
It takes, going back, like I understood how to structure deals, I understood negotiations, understood those things. So those helps.
Welcome everyone to another episode of the Investor Daily Podcast, where we bring everyday people to tell their journey in real estate and make the information the star. And today we got a good friend of mine, Brandon Harris. Brandon, what's going on, bro?
What's up? Thanks for having me, Mando.
I appreciate you hopping on. I said, you know what? Let's strike while the iron's hot. Brandon had created a great opportunity for himself, and it's been showcased now in our community, SubTo community. So I said, you know what? This is a great timing to have him on and just compound on the story that about the opportunity that he created, a life-changing opportunity that actually he created for himself. So let's get into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what's going on with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So Brandon Harris, located North Carolina. I've been a real estate investor now for 6 years. Time flies. So before that, I've always been entrepreneurial. Before that, I owned a digital marketing agency. And before that, before that, I actually started a door-to-door company where I was selling these. They're called budget cards. Me and a couple of friends made them. We went to different restaurants and got deals in the back of them and sold for $20 a piece, door to door. Then built teams. So I've always been entrepreneurial, and that started off, when I was back in college. I had just stopped wrestling. I went to college to wrestle, had all this time in my hands, and I remember sitting there in my dorm, and all my friends were joining fraternities. And going out and joining all these clubs. And I was like, what do I want to do with my time? Because wrestling is very time consuming. We're talking about 2-3 hours a day I was spent towards that. So I had all this extra time now. On top of that, I'm in college. It's a little less tedious in high school. A lot of extra time in my hands. And I remember hanging out with my older brother, who's 5 years older than me, and their conversations were all about, like, what is John doing? What is Joe doing? What's his job? How much she's making? I was like, okay. So I just kind of thought ahead. I was like, okay, so that's what it's going to be like. We're going to go through school in order to get a job. So I was like, what do I want to do? And I was like, now I want to, wrestling. The reason I was able to get, where I was in wrestling, I achieved a lot in that, is because I applied the same principles that I then started to apply to business. And they're basic principles. It's just get around people who are better than you. You have to envision yourself winning. Our coach used to have us run around with our hand up at the end of practice. And I always thought it was stupid at first, but then I understood what he was doing. You were visualizing winning. There's just all these concepts that I learned through, hard work, blood, sweat, and tears, that kind of concept when wrestling, it truly was that. And so, like, I remember I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I started researching it, and I found this audio called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. So that really had a huge impact on my life because I started off with, the self-development mindset. I needed a paradigm shift because I was, obviously for, 20 years, my parents weren't wealthy. And so I had downloaded the wrong information to my head. I had the wrong paradigm and how I saw things and how money worked. So I needed to go through a paradigm shift. I had the work ethic. I understood those concepts and principles from wrestling, but I didn't understand money. And so I found that podcast, and it was a YouTube video. And I would encourage everyone to listen to it. It's like 30 minutes. He's like the OG of self-development. And what he talks about is, I remember he's like, the problem in today's society is that people simply don't think. That was the first thing he says. And he talks about these concepts of people getting in their comfort zones, and out of 100 people, only one will go on to be successful. 5 will be wealthy, and the other 95 will be broke. So when I heard that, I was like, okay, where do I want to fall? And so I obviously wanted to fall in the top 5%, really at 1%. And so then I continued my self-development. I picked up the book Think and Grow Rich. I actually rented that from the library the first time I ever got that book. And so I decided I want to be an entrepreneur, which led me to real estate investing, which, I'm sure everyone who listens to this podcast understands why that was one of the things I felt that I wanted to do. And so from there, I just decided that I was going to make it happen. And I decided that my vehicle at that point was going to be wholesaling. So going back to real estate investing 6 years ago, I started wholesaling. And I share that first part, by the way, part of my story, because I do think it's such an important part of my story. Because a lot of people who listen to these podcasts or reach out to me, a lot of people have reached out to me with that YouTube video that you're referring to about the RV park. A lot of them are just like brand new. And they don't know what to do. They don't know where to start. They're looking for guidance and help. And I think it's so awesome that they have the courage to reach out, and that's a great first step. But sometimes you gotta kind of understand where, like, what the journey was to get there. Like, I didn't just pop out of nowhere and was like, boom, RV park, got this deal, Pace is my partner, let's rock. I'm lucky and I'm, life changed. Like, no, it's like a series of steps. And so I do think it's important kind of share that part. And so for me, it was like changing that paradigm, developing the mindset, and then going and finding a vehicle. Then I joined Owners Club, and I get around people. I'm constantly elevating my circle. And so for going back to 6 years ago, my first vehicle was wholesaling. That was awesome because I didn't have to have a lot of skin in the game in order to get involved in deals. And I got to apply the skills I'd already learned. So back to why marketing is important is I kind of started to learn the skills of marketing and how to get a message across and get it out there. And so I just applied the same thing, learn how to source deals. And then, because all wholesaling is this marketing. I mean, you got to market to buyers and sellers. It's literally a marketing company.
That's right.
And so I found the sellers, found the buyers, then transitioned from that into fix and flips. And along the way, I found creative deals that turned into rentals. And then I got involved in the Owners Club, and I went to the park that Pace has in Montana during the retreat that we had in Montana.
Community camp.
Community camp. Thank you. Yeah.
Did you go in July or September?
July.
Okay.
When did you go? Were you in July?
September.
Okay. Yeah, it was awesome. And we walked that park with Pace and Bo, and I brought my buddy with me, he's my best friend since middle school, and we have very similar mindsets. He's a hustler. And so I'm like, whenever we're doing stuff, we're always sharing it with you. So I'm like, dude, you got to come. I'm allowed to bring someone, like, come. And so he came, and we kind of just had this epiphany that we were going to buy an RV park because he lives in Texas. And so he's surrounded by them. And he actually knew about one that he wanted, that he's like, man, as we're doing that, he's thinking about a park. Long story short, get the park under contract, bring it to Pace. And now I'm a partner with Pace in an RV park.
That's so dope. You just literally manifested that. Let's get a little granular. You had the vision, you see it, you bring your buddy along, right? It's all kind of tying together before it even happens, right? If you look back retrospectively, how did you source that deal? So kind of going back to newer people who might be understand some steps to get into how did you actually source the deal? What were the processes?
Manifest it. If you could see it and believe it, you can achieve it. No, I mean, what happened there was going back, like, I understood how to structure deals, understood negotiations, understood those things. So those helped. And then I just combined it with, I just shared what I was looking for. So I shared it, and this just so happened I shared it with a buddy, like, hey, like, let's find an RV park. And so that's how I actually found my first deal with that wholesale too. I was transitioning from marketing. It was a little embarrassing. You're like, don't want to be seen as a person that isn't stable. But I told my older brother about it. And the first deal that I found was actually his wife's dad was like a day away from signing it with another cash buyer. He's like, hey, that kind of sounds like what you're doing. I don't know if it is, but you should reach out to him. So I just, in this case, maybe a little luck. Maybe it was an accumulation of all the effort I put into it. But I just shared it with him, and he happened to already know someone that was looking to sell a park. The second part that we got that we're under contract, we're working on it now, we actually did some more of the, marketing strategies that you may hear about, cold calling, texting, whatever. That one we actually, we cold called. And so we went, kind of found an area, Google Maps, found the park owner, reached out to a bunch of people, finally found someone who was interested, started talking numbers and put in a contract.
That is great. So the first park you found, you said your buddy found it in Texas.
Yeah, it was in his network. It was someone he knew.
Wow, can you share some about the park and what were the details and how do you get it on the contract?
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, he knew the guy. The guy was just a tired landlord. He actually had moved. He actually had health issues, which I didn't find out about that until later. So he actually moved 6 hours away. Said, he was just going to buy a different park. We run into title issues, and that's when we find out that he's got cancer because he's going through chemo, which slowed down a lot of things. And so unfortunate for him, he just wasn't feeling good. He was sick, so he was just ready to exit. And it's a really good park. And it is it's 56 spaces and has room to expand. It's netting after its total revenue is like 30, NOI was like 20, so it makes 20K a month. After we're done with the additional spaces, it's gonna make about 25K a month. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a work camp, so it's a park that has occupants that stay there for longer periods of time, and which can be good and bad. There's I know like a lot of people have different models and whatever, and there's ways to maximize revenue. I like this one because it's a little less hands on, which is good for me. And
Why is that?
why is it good, or
Why
why is
is
it
it
less
a little
hands
hands off that you said?
Oh, so like you gotta think about it. Like when you have like one of these like destination parks or with short-term tenants, you have to have better amenities to attract them to your park. So if you're having a destination park, people want to come, they want to enjoy their time, vacation. The amenities are really important, and so the better amenities, the more you're going to attract them. They're going to, the more you can raise rent. So I know people that have, they got restaurants, bars, golf courses, you name it. They got all kinds of cool stuff going on, which is great to increase revenue, but that's more employees, more, you're gonna have to put more time and effort into that type of park. And this park, since it's work camp, there's a lot less need for amenities. Now, there's definitely some amenities you can add to it to improve it to make sure you're at like 100% occupancy.
Yeah.
But this one's already at 100% occupancy. There's really no amenities other than laundry and dryer room, and you can get away with like one manager who lives at the park, and so it's just less employees,
That,
less effort.
that's awesome. 100% occupancy. When you were underwriting it, right? When did you realize that this is a killer deal that you had under the?
I didn't. So how I actually became partners with Pace was I was underwriting it or trying to underwrite it. I didn't know how to underwrite it. I mean, I was just like, for me, underwriting it at that point was okay. You're saying it does 30K total and your 10K expenses, so it makes 20K.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, that's a great deal, right? I mean, I was like, okay. And then I'd use like a mortgage calculator. I was like, okay, so if you got a loan on that, it's about like this much, got like 12K. So you're profit about 8K every month. That sounds pretty good. That's the extent that I knew for underwriting. And so I then brought that to one of Pace's underwriting Zooms with Bo. And I knew that like they didn't really want to buy over in certain parts of Texas, and this was a certain part they didn't want to buy. Like these work camps, these areas where if the work's gone, I mean, you kind of get stuck with this. And so I knew that they didn't really want that area. So I didn't expect anything. I just wanted to underwrite it, make sure I wasn't missing anything. And I remember bringing it there, and like Bo was like, and then he like kind of stopped and he's like, "Hey, can you guys just email me more information and we'll talk about this after?" I was like, "Okay." So we emailed to him and he's like, "Hey, can we get on a call?" And then when we get on that call, he's like, "Yeah, I think we want to partner with you on this park."
No way.
Yeah, I was like, honestly, at first I was like, I really wasn't my intention. I didn't want to partner. Like I wanted to do this myself, whatever. And so like I remember calling David, my partner, and I was like, so yeah, man, I don't know. We should do this. Like, I think it's good because we're gonna learn a lot from them. Like, let's just have the conversations. But like, they're sharks. I mean, they're big investors. Like, I don't like. I think we can kind of raise the money ourselves. Like, we don't get that. Like they get access to tons of deals. They probably got deals sent to them all the time. Like every
Yep.
day they probably get a deal like this. And we don't get to find deals like this often. So like let's maximize potential for it. And so that's kind of the first initial thought process. And so we're like kind of going through the conversations and whatnot. And we eventually tell Bo, we're like, because we wanted a pretty high percentage. And I'm like, you know, we're not interested. Like we sent a text message, like, you know, a long text. It was a pretty long text message by the end of them. Hey, thank you for your time, man. You know, we're kind of looking at this. We know you guys got opportunities, but like we're trying to really make sure we maximize this one, and we just want a little higher. So I'm going to do this, but really appreciate it. Blah blah blah. And he's like, would you like to talk to Pace? And so that's all he responds. He's like, would you like to be on call Pace? And so I'm like, yeah, I mean, of course. And so I called David. I'm like, hey, we're going to get on a call Pace because we're not going to say no to that. But we're not going to take this deal. Pace is coming on to close us. Like that's Pace's job now.
That's
And
right.
so I'm like, but I'm not closable. There's no way you can close me. I mean, I know his tricks, I know his tactics.
I know what's going on.
But I get to talk to Pace one-on-one. This is gonna be sick. Get to see his negotiation. Like so, and it was really cool. So like we so we get on the call with Pace, and so like Pace, he comes on there and he's talking, whatever. And so once we start getting into it, and it's pretty much just me and Pace. Like David and Bo are both muted and don't even have their videos on. And so it's like me and Pace. And so Pace is like, hey, you know, Bo showed me this deal. It's an incredible deal. And, you know, my first thought is like, why would you want to partner with me? I mean, you guys can do this yourself. I mean, I don't think you need me. And so I'm like, okay. So I see what you're doing. You want me to sell myself on you instead of you selling me on you. And so I'm like, so I'm playing a little hardball. I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, we don't need you. We kind of, and we did have another guy who wanted to partner with us too. So, you know, we have another offer on this. We don't really need it. Whatever. And then my buddy David, he's going into it and he's like, well, you know, like, cause this, I'm like texting him like, dude, shut up. Like, shut up, dude. It's just, we can't like, you know, let's just don't say too much. And so he's like, cool. He's like, all right, well, how about this? Let me tell you a story. Like, oh, he's doing his thing. So then he tells me the story about Jordan Reyes. And so he tells me a story and he's like, you know, Jordan brings me to this park. He didn't really know what he's doing. We partner up on it. Long story short, he's now coming to a raising capital class because, you know, I exposed that park and now he's got a lot of people bringing him deals. So I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that's true. But I'm still stuck on this equity thing. I don't think we want to be partners. And so like I'm still stuck on that, kind of going through it. And so eventually Pace just pretty much says, he's like, hey man, like, listen, if you're looking for that, like, you're not going to get it from me. Like we gave you all the tools. Like you can go do this, man. Like tell me about it. That's awesome. Like go for it, dude. This is an awesome park. Like you don't need me for that. But he's like, but if you do want to partner with me, all I can tell you is that, you know, we have experience here. I think this is a great opportunity for you to learn. And there's going to be good exposure from this. I mean, you tell me what the impact is of you getting to partner with Pace on a deal. Kind of just left it at that. He's like, all right, gotta go. And so, I mean, I was just like, at first I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. But then I just kept thinking about it. I was like,
how were you feeling now that you heard how he closes, and what were you just thinking? What was going on with
well,
you?
I knew how he closed. I mean, I was like, this is exactly what I expected. He teaches us everything that he does, and he doesn't hide anything. Yeah. So like I expected that. And I thought, because I knew it, that it wasn't going to work on me. But the reason why it works is because he can back it all up. And so it doesn't matter if it's a tactic, none of it's fake. And so it is a true story that he told me, and he understands. The only reason why he uses stories is because facts tell, stories sell. So he told me a true story of someone I could relate to, and he painted that picture in my head, and all of it is true. He could back it up. What is the impact of partnering with Pace? What is the impact of me sharing this story with you? Well, now that I've gone through that, I mean, from Pace alone, I've probably gained like 500 followers on Instagram just from him sharing stuff. And I'm, you know, like, how does that convert to deals still? I mean, but people do bring me deals. Someone who now works with me, I met him through it. Like, there is such a domino effect from doing something like that. So that's why it ended up selling me, and why I let go of what I thought was more important, to realize that, like, hey, like, partnering with someone like that obviously has an impact with someone that had like there's two things. Okay, Pace obviously, like the dude, like, he's one of the biggest in the space, like that, it's unsaid. But also just partnering with other people too. It's like the experience you get. Like I was just stuck in and it's not a really good mindset. It's just because I thought it was so independent. I'd done all these deals and flipped so many houses. But this, at the end of the day, was something new for me. And after realizing that, like, and getting over that hump, like now it doesn't even have to be a pace. Like I would partner with someone just for the experience all day, every day, because number one, these are scary to tackle. Like when you actually like, sure, like you get under contract, all that stuff, you're underwriting, it sounds cool, you think about to raise money, but like when you're actually getting bank loans for like $1.5 million and you got to raise like 500K, like that's pretty scary. And that's not even that. I mean, they get a lot. You can double that. I mean, raising $5 million or getting a $5 million bank loan is scary. So that is when you're new, it's scary. And so, like for me, like new, like it was pretty scary. And so, like getting that experience, it starts to become like, so it kind of goes back to the mindset of like, okay, why is hanging out with people who are on a much higher mindset or better, or back to even like wrestling, who are so much better than me? Why does that improve you? Why does that make you a better person? Like, why do you get improvement from that? Well, obviously, like in wrestling, like you're going against harder competition, so that can be one thing. But that's not what I would say was the number one thing. The number one thing was that when I was like a freshman in high school, like seeing a guy who was ranked number 3 in the state, like it's like, oh, I'm so scared. Like I can imagine what that's like to go against that guy. Like he's gonna whoop my ass, but whatever. And but then when you start hanging around those guys who are number 1 in the state, like it becomes just you normalize it. It's like no longer a scary thing. It's like, oh, my practice partner, like who are you? Like I don't care, you're my practice partner is that too. Like all my practice partners, I got 5 practice partners, they're all top in the state. Like
Yeah.
go against another third in the state, it doesn't scare me at all. And so now that I come out there with that mentality, it becomes normal to me. And so the same thing goes with like business and anything. It's not just that they have some incredible skills that and secrets that they're going to teach you. Like that's probably like irrelevant now, actually, with hanging out with better, improving your circle. Because you can go learn all those things. Like you can hear Pace talk all day on YouTube and share high level information. What I think really makes the largest impact is it becomes normal. Like to do $100,000 deal, like I feel almost uncomfortable. Like I would never say that around like my family or anything like that. Like, and especially some of my hometown friends, like I don't want to talk about the spread on deals because like I don't know, is it like they're jealous? I don't want to like it just feels weird. Whatever it is. But like when I get around people like you, like we could talk about deals like that all day long. You and me before this call, we were talking about deals like that.
That's
Just
right.
naturally, right away, we were talking about 6-figure deals
Yeah.
and not blinking an eye. And it's like, heck yeah, bro. Like, what's the difference with that one? Oh, you gotta go more custom. You gotta do this, and then like you get into like better and higher level vibrational conversations.
Yeah.
And so like that's what I think the true power is. Is it's not that they're gonna teach you some skill that you can't learn on your own. You can go learn that stuff. It's that you start to become more comfortable and it becomes more normal to make $100,000 deal. And then I go start like I got, and maybe this is my next level I got to do is I got to get around people who are making $1 million off of deals, because when you start getting around people who are making $1 million deals, like then that talk about, you brought the word manifestation, like that becomes something that is easier to manifest, because you can't manifest something if you don't believe it. But that, like literally that's what like the secret says, like whatever you can think and believe you can achieve. You can think it, but if you don't believe it, then you can't achieve it. So like they have to all come together. So in order to get that belief part, if you're hanging around people who are doing $1 million deals left and right, and that's nothing. I mean, there are people who are doing $10 million deals. Like, and for me, like right now, like I don't believe that. I don't believe that I can do that right now. To be honest, like I'm just being straight up. Like I'm growing towards that, but like I don't think that subconsciously, like consciously, yeah, I'm like can I see how a deal like that would pan out? Like sure, I can see how a deal like pan out, but like subconsciously, do I really think that I am capable of achieving that yet? I'm not there. But I'm also consciously aware that in order to get there, I need to be elevated in my circle. And that's why I joined clubs like Owners Club. Because then you get around someone like Dorian, if I get around more people like Dorian who are doing deals like that, imagine your circles like that, and those are people you're hanging out with all the time. Then all of a sudden you're like, yeah, I can do a $10 million
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I believe you already know it in your head. It's just now just going through the stages, right? Walking that path. And I think like you already figured out the riddle and the cheat code to get there, right? It's just literally walking that path, right? To get you to where you got you. Who'd imagine let's say a year ago before you went to the community camp, you would have been in this situation, right? So it's all a progression as well, right?
Yeah. Getting around those people, seeing Pace talking about a deal, like seeing Bo, just seeing other people talk about it, then I'm like, I can do a deal like this. And like I knew I could do a deal like that, but it was like, I think it's that difference between it like being like a conscious thing where you have to like you think like I can do a deal like this versus like I know I can do a deal like this. Because now I'm around those people doing those deals, and it goes from being this unattainable goal to just a normal thing.
That's dope. So now you're in the deal. Pace comes in, he locks it in. When did you decide, you know what, let's go for it? Let's partner with Pace.
Oh, that call. Yeah, that call. I mean, okay, so like after that call, like afterwards, I was like, nah, like I don't know, man, like like, but it is true what he's saying, and I was like, okay, I'm like, and so I just kind of sat on it, and then like I would probably say it the next day, like after that night, like at first I was like still not there, but then so I just kept thinking about it, thinking about the things that he said, um, and so the next day I think is when we texted them and we were like, let's do it.
That's dope. Can you break down some of the finances and what are the percentages? How do you get? What were your splits on the deal?
Yeah, we were fortunate, and I say that because this isn't like normal. Like, there's definitely a different types splits you can do, and so this one I don't think he's normally going to go at this point. What people would expect. I'm saying the difference like between expect and what you can get. This one we had a deal locked up under contract done, and it was a very good deal. And we're talking like 22% cap rate. So with opportunity to expand, I mean, like really good deal. And there's things that made it different, like really nice metal coverings, like which is really important in this area. So like there was it made it abnormal, and so we were able to get 20%, which at that time I was I didn't think it was great, but it is really great. And so we were able to get 20% equity. I didn't negotiate a finder's fee just really because I didn't really know at that time to do that. I do think that all day I could have got that, but we didn't do that, and it's fine. But yeah, so 20% equity split, and that's on the cash flow, and that's on when we sell it.
Oh, so there's an exit as well on this. It's not a hold.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll make like out of that, I think it's like supposed to be like 25. Let's call it 20K a month. Cash flow, debt, probably realistically after all the debt, probably like I would say in probably $15,000-$16,000 cash flow. So we'll get 20% of that, so 4,000. So I'll make like $2,000 a month, just completely hands off.
That's dope.
Um, but then when we sell it, I mean, Pace and their team underwrote it as like with the new cap rate when we do improvements, everything that we'll make $1 million. So we'll get like
That's awesome, right? So are you looking to find more deals, or since you tasted success in this space, what's going on now?
yeah. I'm not like going all out with the parks. I still fix and flip houses, and that's my main cash cow right now.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I got people sending me parks right now. The next good deal that comes across, I'm just being really picky with my deals. I'm just not jumping into it when it's next really good deal. I'm ready, and I've learned a lot, and I do know how to underwrite now. I understand how to see a deal through. I know how to speak to banks about a deal. I know what they're going to look for. I know how to do the due diligence. Like there's a lot of things that I learned, and so I'm ready for a deal. And I'm at the next tier, as Pace talks about the tiers. That was tier 3, where I was able to close on. I was able to get a deal under contract and then bring it to someone like Pace, versus like tier 4, and you're actually our Pace. So I'm at tier 4. I know how to be tier 4. And so yeah, I mean, we're doing the RV Park Challenge right now, and I'm doing a Zoom next week with a lot of people who have reached out to me because of that YouTube video. So we'll see what comes from it.
That's dope. And you said you're flipping, so you're flipping locally where you're at. What's going on with flipping?
Yeah, so I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. If you've ever heard of it, it's a beautiful beach. in North Carolina. It's awesome. Fastest growing city in the United States. And I flip houses in Raleigh, North Carolina. Of course, everyone's heard of that. Raleigh, North Carolina, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Wilmington, North Carolina, in those areas. So yeah, I mean that's my company. That's my company. And so yeah, that's my main cash cow. So like back to like when I was talking about those steps.
Yeah.
Because I get this question, and I think I don't know. Some people disagree, agree with this. My opinion. Should you start with RV parks? The quick answer to that is no. I would say no. Okay, that's my quick answer. Now it does depend where you're at in life. Like if you have a steady income, or you know you don't need money immediately, and you'd rather go for some home runs. I understand that. Absolutely, I understand that. Or you come from a space, maybe you worked for a company that was dealing in that space, so you already had the experience. You gained the experience by doing it, maybe it's 1099 or W2 or whatever. Then I understand that different case scenario. But I'm talking about the general like real estate investor who's like, they're going full time on this. Like this is their income source. Like this is all they're doing, and they're new to it. Like me, like where I was when I got into it.
Yeah.
Like would I tell myself like if I should I no at that point no. I'm glad I didn't do that because it's just the deals take longer. It's more experience. I mean, you're talking to business owners. You're not talking to just homeowners. And there's less deals. There's a lot less deals. I mean, you think about single family versus RV parks. There's a lot less deals. And so for me, like I'm happy with the path that I took, going single family first, because I was able to produce an income like a cash cow that gives me a little bit more flexibility. And when I say flexibility, I mean, like, I'm not desperate I don't need that next deal. Like, I'm not like, if I don't close a deal in 6 months, like, I don't know what's going to happen, Mando. Like, bro, I'll come clean your house, dude. Anything, like, kind of thing. Like, I have like the ability to, pay for callers. I got the ability to invest in marketing. I got the ability to put 10, like, for the park, I put 10K down in escrow. So I had that ability to do that. So like, I didn't need to raise that money first or bring on someone or get less equity. Like when I brought this deal to Pace, the reason I was in a little bit better of a position negotiating is because if you bring a deal where you're like, hey man, like maybe you can help me negotiate this, like we already started the conversation, like, bro, like he's doing the whole deal for you. Like you're not like you're shooting yourself in the foot kind of. So like if you could get a deal already locked up, you have the deal. That's I mean, they have experience money, and that's obviously why they're like they get a higher percentage, but you have a little bit of negotiating power when you have a deal locked up like that. And so for me, like I believe that if you're new to this space, I personally believe that single family is the easiest way to build momentum. And usually in business and life and everything, I mean, you think about like even like basketball games, football games, whatever, like momentum is such a critical part to winning. That's why like basketball, like if freaking like a team starts scoring, they get on a 10-point run, like what happens after that?
Yeah. Ebb and flows of a game of life.
Timeout, they call timeout, right? Like
Yep.
always. Like when
Great.
they do like literally that is the sole purpose of them calling a timeout when a team starts going on a scoring is the sole purpose is to stop momentum. That's
Absolutely.
the only purpose. And so business is a game like getting your momentum going is so critical. And so that's why joining like these challenges at Pace does that they're such cool concepts as challenges because what those challenges are, like Casey Jurgensen, like going out there and trying to get 100 deals, like that is a massive momentum push. And one of the first businesses I was in was a network marketing company. And one of the concepts I learned when I was reading all these books and doing that was these like 90-day blitz, or you can do like 30-day blitz, be like a 90-day blitz once a year, or a 30-day blitz a couple times a year. And that's when you go all in for 30 days. And it's about building momentum. Now you don't want to burn yourself out. So like, that's why it's a concept of 30 days, but build a momentum. So I think the best way to get started is single family, find a way to build momentum. But, let's say that you won't want to go that path. You're like, no, like I'm going to do this, or you're one of those other things, you have income, then like partnering with people like me who can come in there and we can tackle this together. Like, and I'm even looking for that next partner because I got a lot of deals getting sent to me and I'm busy and I'm looking for that next partner too. So like finding a partner or being able to bring a deal, like hey Brandon, like I'm in early negotiation process. Like let's get this locked up so that we can go negotiate. Like I don't even know where to start, even know where to underwrite, but I don't want to like just give my deals away. Can you be a good partner, a trusted partner? Like doing stuff like that is a great step as well to be able to do it as a beginner.
No, that's awesome. Great pro tips. Basically, know thyself and build momentum. Right, your time will come. Right, so don't over accelerate and burn out or get discouraged. Right, kind of take that easy path and the tortoise over the hare. Right.
Yeah. I
Uh,
mean, yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, you could be the hair, but just take some breaks, understand where you're at, make sure you look back at how far you've came, like those little things, you know?
yeah. So let's go into a segment called the makings of a hero, right? Where we kind of vision cast and we look ahead where we want to be in the next 5 to 10 years. Can you share some of your vision with us, brother?
Yeah. So, and there's also, so like one of the things is like shiny object syndrome. It's like I'm doing a lot of things. I understand that.
No,
And
that
sometimes it can be fast if you're newer, but I don't know. Like the good thing about having a cash cow, something that is stabilized, like I heard Pace say this, and I was like, I love that. I love that. It's like he built these businesses so that he can have shiny object syndrome, so
no
that he
doubt.
can go do cool things and he can do the things that interest him and like try and things fail, like whatever. And I think just like as an entrepreneur, like we all have that. Like we like good ideas. We see opportunity, and we're like,
Hey, let's do it.
yeah, you're like, dude, that makes sense. It's a great opportunity. Like, I want in. And so for me, what I'm building right now is a land business. And so right now what we're doing is um, we're doing subdivision. So we're buying raw land, specifically land that's 15 acres or bigger and has at least 200 feet of road frontage, and we're looking for opportunities where we can break that up into multiple lots. And so that's kind of like the next big project. Like over the next 2 years, I'm going to continue. Like where I'm at right now in the flipping business is last year we did, I think it was like 18 flips. I want to get that up to like 30. And then I don't really want to do more than that. As I transition to more flipping, I slowed down wholesaling. One reason because I was buying more of my deals. The other reason was I could take down the flips. I some of the marketing dialed in where I didn't need to have acquisition people. And two of my guys left, and I tried to find people and just kind of burnt out on that real quick. But then I found some good people now, so we also want to ramp that back up. Nothing crazy, probably like 20 wholesales a year. So again, just my cash cow. So grow that a little bit. And then my baby right now is the land business. And so what I kind of like foresee over the next 5 years for that is I want to be buying like 100-acre pieces of land. And we're buying in North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee right now. And I think that's going to be the thing that I want to build a platform on. So I really want to be in the coaching space one day eventually. I've always wanted to be in that. When I was like 20 years old, I was in a network marketing, multi-level marketing company, which well, tons of opinions on those businesses. My opinion, it was one of the best training and learning grounds and companies I could ever have been in. I got to public speak, build teams, sell products, self development, a lot of emphasis on that, and so like I learned a lot. And but the thing I love the most about that is like I built a team. We had a really big team. I reached platinum leader, which was like a really high ranking position in that company. And I got to the point where I got to like teach how to build like the business, and that was the most fulfilling thing I ever did. And I just love doing that. So like I would love to be in that space specifically, like kind of where I see like I want to do it under Pace's umbrella. Because obviously he's already paved the way. He's such a big community, and he wants more of that. Obviously he speaks to us in Owners Club about that all the time. But he's created such an awesome thing. And so I would love to be doing something with that. The only thing is like doing all these different things, kind of like I haven't really figured that out yet exactly what it is. And we just talk about everything. Maybe we should talk more. I don't know, but the land business is what I am pretty passionate about right now. I've really fallen in love with, and I want to build a platform on that.
I love that. That's it's going to happen, right? You manifest is going to happen,
Absolutely.
and like everything else you've done. Brandon, can you share with us how important community is, especially the community we belong to, SubTo, right? Can you share, expound on some of that?
Yeah, I mean, that ties in. I think again, go back into that the first thing I talked about. It was you get around people who are better than you. It's again, it's like sure you're gonna learn tactic and skills. Like I'll talk to you. Like this is what the conversations look like. So we go into let's say we go to owners club event, and we're at one of our retreats or whatever. And you're going and meeting someone new, and you start learning about their business, and you can start to learn how they did that. And like I met a guy and he does PPC, Louis. Have you met Louis yet?
I haven't.
Bro, you got to meet Louis. Louis is King Louis, dude. He's
Shout out
awesome.
to Louis.
He is awesome, bro. He's so awesome. And so I met this guy. I sat next to him at one of the lunches, whatever. And so he kind of told me about PPC more. And so I knew about PPC. Like I've been wanting to try it, but it was just that one seeing it from someone I met, how successful it was for him. And he kind of shared me the program that he learns from. And I've been wanting to do PPC for 5 years, but I never really jumped on it. And I knew in the back of my head, yeah, it's inbound marketing, it's great. Until I sat down with him and saw how successful he was with it. Then it pushed me over the ledge to do it. So that was one example. That one conversation could make me, I mean, it's already made me over $100,000. And so it could make me millions of dollars. So that's one example from tactical skills and things you learn. And but again, it's none of that stuff is secret. So if you're okay, what can I really you can learn? I can learn this all on YouTube free. Yeah, sure. But when you're there in person and it's your friend that's telling you about it, it just I don't know, it's just different. Then the second part is, sometimes it's kind of hard to meet people in your own town who are doing things you want to do. I mean, there's meetups and everything like that, but to really meet go-getters, I don't know, at least for me, you could put yourself purposely to do that, but it can be difficult sometimes, especially when you're busy. Or you join these groups and it's you're in a membership of people who are just have the same mindset as you. So
Yeah.
you've put yourself into those groups, have friends, and now I just went on a trip with Fothergill, John Fothergill.
I haven't had the pleasure to meet him, but I know who it is.
So another reason for John Fothergill. So he's Boston. He's absolutely crushing foreclosures. He is so good at closing foreclosure deals. And because I built a relationship with him, he's given me so much tips and insight and help on how to do these foreclosures. And again, I always knew that I should go after foreclosures. It makes the most sense. Those are the most motivated leads. Yep. They're leads where you're really actually helping someone. And I always knew I should go after them. But I was always whatever. But after seeing it, there's and I already saw it. I mean, I've seen it on YouTube and everything. Obviously it works. But why didn't I ever take action? I don't know. I don't know what this is. I don't know. There's probably some reason behind it. There's probably some science, probably some psychology behind it. But for me, I just know that by seeing it from a friend, hearing the stories in person, that's what pushed me over the edge to do it.
Yeah,
so,
he's different.
Yeah, it's different, So those little things, those are specific examples of things that it makes you do that's going to make me millions of dollars. But again, I think the most important thing is elevating your mindset, normalizing the next level. I think that's actually a really cool thing.
I love that. I love how you put that. Brandon, thanks for coming on. Brandon, where can they reach you if they want to connect with you and do business with you or just want to get to know you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Brandon Harris. I'll give my cell phone. Text me 919-621-8431. But just reach out to me on Instagram. Brandon Harris. Follow me there. See what I'm doing. Love to meet you guys.
That's dope. I love the way you put yourself out there. Reach out to him, connect with him. Dude's doing the big things and get to know him. Maybe you can partner as well. Brandon, again, thank you for coming on. I appreciate you, people. Please like and subscribe the episode, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.
Yeah, Mando, appreciate you, brother.
Bye-bye.